Horse and down, take two.
Rolling when you will.
Brilliant. All right. Okay. So Magnus, I want to chat about 911s now.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're a 911 enthusiast.
That is true.
So, in similar trajectory to your Porsche journey, I feel like values of the 911 in the past 5 years have just kind of increased almost exponentially. Do you think that's a good or a bad thing?
It's a great question. I mean, I got in with all my Porsches when they were affordable. So I was kind of always buying what I personally liked, like short wheelbase cars when nobody really wanted them. 3-litre turbos, surprisingly, 3 to 5 years ago were really affordable because nobody wanted them. So I think for an enthusiast trying to get into the air-cooled 911 world today, yeah, it's really expensive. I don't understand the value of some of these cars. 964 turbos, for example, have just shot up in value.
Yeah.
The 3.6s, I mean, that's a car that a few years ago nobody cared about. It's not the first turbo, it's not the last turbo. But why it's become such an iconic bad boy, I don't know if it's the bad boy thing about it, I can't quite put my finger on it. I think in reality, what I'm seeing is a lot of non-Porsche enthusiasts coming into the Porsche mark. And by that I mean guys that probably own Ferraris and McLarens and Lamborghinis weren't necessarily Porsche enthusiasts. And I always used to love saying, you see a lot of high mileage Porsches because they get driven, whereas you don't see a lot of high mileage Ferraris because they don't get driven. But I think in reality now a lot of these non-Porsche enthusiasts are coming into the mark, driving the prices up because they seem relatively good value compared to other European exotic cars. And for me, I always said the Porsche was the affordable, everyday, everyman supercar because it was practical, reliable, handled great, and was for the most part affordable. So the 911 world today is strange. The air-cooled world is strange. Best bang for the buck, obviously, is 996. You know, first generation water-cooled. And I can't quite figure out why those cars are undervalued. Everyone, you know, always goes on about the ugly headlights, but I always say when you drive them, you don't see it. Everyone loves to talk about the IMS bearing issue, but they don't all have it. So, you know, in the States, you can buy those cars for under 20 grand. You can buy a turbo for under 50.
That's incredible.
And perhaps, yeah, and perhaps one of my favorite new cars, because now I'm all about air and water, having owned over 60 air-cooled cars. The first water-cooled 911 I bought was 18 months ago, almost 2 years ago, was an 04 GT3. And to me, that's a phenomenal car. It's chiseled. It's like everything I love about the early air-cooled cars, such as my 277, but just amped up on steroids. So I think the long answer to your question is I do think the air-cooled cars are overvalued, but I still think there's a lot of value in 996 and 997. Recently, my new goal is to own one of everything Porsche's ever made. So that's front engine, mid-engine, rear engine, and specifically within the 911 range, one of every model. So recently I was shopping for a Gen 1 997, and they're affordable. You can pick them up for under 30 grand. So that's a modern, practical, fun, everyday driver car. So I think you've got to break down the 911 world into air-cooled and water-cooled. And it's always been that way. You know, the air-cooled guys really are not necessarily big fans of the water-cooled cars. But let's think back 60 years, or 55 years when the 911 came out and replaced the 356. The 356 guys hated the 911. So it's just evolution. I think there's new change coming in. You know, it'll be interesting to see if Porsche's even making internal combustion motors in cars in the next 10, 15 years. You know, it all seems to be going hybrid. And so it's an interesting time, but I think the long-winded answer to your short question is, I would say a lot of early air-cooled cars are overvalued.
Yeah, okay. And then so we look to the future, and as you intimated, we've got Mission E coming up.
Right.
And are they going to continue making the combustion engines, let alone the flat six?
Right.
Like, do you think that's good or bad?
I think you have to evolve. I think you have to progress. You know, I mean, for me, I've got enough cars where it's not going to matter. And there's always the OPP thing of other people's Porsches. It's like everyone's saying about the new RSR race car. It's not a 911 because it's mid-engine. They move the motor forward. To me, if Porsche's winning on the racetrack, it doesn't matter really where the motor is. If these new cars are fun to drive and fast, which they probably will be, I think we just need to evolve and adapt, because a few years ago I never thought I'd be carrying around one of these things. You know, I was kind of antiquated in an old dinosaur way, and now I've got a smartphone. So I think it's progress. I think there'll always be vintage cars around for enthusiasts to enjoy. And I think so long as Porsche's making fun, great handling, fast cars, how bad can it be?
Okay. And then you're talking about your collection. You don't own a 993 yet, do you?
No, the 993, I don't collect in chronological order.
Okay.
The past few years I've been on a front-engine transaxle quest. So I ended up with 3 924 turbos. One of them was base, one of them was a Carrera GT, and one was that cool Al Holbert race car. Then I got some 928s, but the goal is 944, 968, end up with a 914, next will be a Cayman, I spent probably 4 months in the Charlotte's Cayman GT4,
Nice.
which I will say, for the record, is perhaps the most fun I've had in a new modern Porsche. That car is just outstanding. But yeah, the 993, to answer your question, somehow it's just eluded me. No two cars ever drive the same, and I haven't found a 993 that I've really loved in stock form. And I hate to say it, just seems a little, in stock form, a little too soft, a little floaty. It's a great touring car, but my drives are more, let's call them spirited canyon runs. And in stock form, the 993 is just a little bit too soft.
It looks really high up as well compared to a good sorted 964.
Yeah, so I skipped the 993, I will get one, but I went 964, which is my most performance-orientated build to date. And then perhaps the most fun I've had in a new car, separate of the GT4, is the 04 GT3. So one day I'll own a 993, but it's the one I haven't fully clicked with at this time.
Okay.
So time will tell.
Time will tell,
Yeah.
time will tell. Well look, thanks for chatting here today. Got to say as well, thank you to Paul Stevens for hosting us.
Yeah, thank you
It's
to
been
Paul
ideal.
Stevens for the pizza and the tea.
Absolutely. So ladies and gentlemen, that was Magnus Walker. Always so much to learn about that guy, isn't there? Really enjoyed that interview as well. He's a super laid back kind of guy, and I think that really came across the interview there. He's just a Porsche guy who's happy to chat all day, which is ideal from our point of view. Oh, yeah boys, lovely little road. Everyone seems to have their opinion on Magnus, and I've been lucky to spend quite a bit of time with him over the last 5 years or so. And I've got nothing but praise for the guy. I just think he is a real honest individual. There's a lot of integrity to what he does. He's a very positive person as well. There's always a positive vibe, a positive aura around him. And I think it rubs off on other people, to be honest. I think he has been as good for Porsche as Porsche has been for him. Because whereas there used to be a stigma maybe attached to drivers in the 911 being a little bit older, maybe liking a round of golf too many, and walking around in beige trousers, all of a sudden you've got this guy with a trucker hat and a long beard who's interested in spannering and driving Porsches. So he's kind of opened up the appeal of Porsche to a totally different audience that, to be fair, Porsche's PR department prior to him hasn't been able to do. So he has been as good for the company as the company have been good for him, and it's great when you see those guys working together a little bit more often. Some real good points he made in the interview there, particularly with regards to the 993. I actually agree with him, you know. I like the 993, but there's just something about the way it looks. It just looks a little bit too soft, maybe a little bit too high up in terms of Carrera models. Turbo models, I just think that front lip pulls the car down a little bit. But yeah, in Carrera form, I don't know, there's something about the 993 that just doesn't agree with me personally. So that was great to hear his thoughts on that, and no doubt he's still going to get a 993 anyway. Great to hear him vindicate that these cars need to be driven as well. So that's my thoughts on the interview, which I thought went really well. I hope you guys enjoyed that as much as I did. Goes without saying, Magnus, thanks very much for meeting up and listening to me go on as usual. Really appreciate that, buddy. Really appreciate all the support you've given to me so far in my career to date. And yeah, all that remains to be said is for me to say, everyone, thank you for your support as usual. Please subscribe to the channel. I will do a video on this, which is my 911. I haven't got around to doing it yet, but I know I've promised I will. So I will pull my finger out and sort that out for you guys. You can expect to see that soon. Thanks very much for watching. Keep enjoying your Porsche, keep enjoying yourselves, and I will see you soon as this guy gets out of my way.